Okay, this is the HMX Technical User Group webinar for the month of April. And we have Uma, who is the product owner, TB, who is from the technical success team, and we have Shiva, who is also the product owner for HMX. And we have a good agenda today to showcase around the FinOps and the HMX cloud management. And to start with, we'll be showing the vCenter right sizing recommendation. Of course, this is a community-based package that we are releasing it to the marketplace portal, and I believe it's already released. And yeah, there is a a backend source which the product picks up, and then it automatically creates the right sizing recommendation, and then it will also help you to execute it. And of course, there is a lot more detail the presenter is going to share about this integration. And we also going to show you the tag remediation. Of course, we talked about a lot of tag-based reports and applying the tags or even compliance tag, but this is more of like how you can remediate the non-compliance item using the automated workflow. And we also have come up with a new integration with Jenkins. And earlier we did show the Jenkins integration, but using a classic API, which is EMS API, but now with a new ESM API available, we have integrated Jenkins with that, and then you should be able to provision any new services and deploy an application. And finally, we are going to walk you through a use case, maximize the optimize. Yeah, sounds a little flashy. Yeah, you will see like, how we can see, understand the Shibak reports and then use the data to see what opportunities you have in order to optimize by purchasing the savings plan or even doing the right sizing before you purchase the savings plan, right? So the concept is, about optimizing at the max. So we have 45 minutes, so I'm not going to spend the usual intro about the existing capabilities. Like I mentioned, we will be having the demo around the vCenter recommendation. Uma is going to show you, which will so primarily it is to integrate with any of the monitoring tool which is offering the recommendations, and we can pull those recommendations in, and then we should take you through the workflow process and execute it. It also can identify the idle VMs or the oversized or undersized VMs. And tag remediation, like I mentioned, you can use this tool to apply to the services, the public cloud services, or even the policies, or even to the user. And the Jenkins integration help you to deploy the platform software once the application or the test is built, and then it can actually fetch the properties from the previously deployed platform software, like for example, IP address or host name, and then it can connect and deploy the application. And finally, it can execute the test suite. So this all comes under Jenkins pipeline. So we are going to show you how HMX catalog offering is integrated with Jenkins and how it helps seamlessly integrate in order to provision the services. And finally, like I mentioned, the use case that will connect the showback report with insights with a story to bring a maximum optimization. So with that, I will hand over the ball to Uma, who is going to present and demo the vCenter recommendations and tag management. Over to you, Uma.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Yeah, can you give me the presenter rights?
Yes. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, can you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Confirm? Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, hello everyone. Let me start with our private cloud recommendation. So earlier we have provided the public cloud recommendation as a community content for Microsoft Azure and AWS. So under the same recommendation category, so now you can see the new package called VMware vCenter. So currently how it works is we are using a cloud optimizer tool. So from there we are fetching the recommendation. So for the past how much CPU usage has been done, and what is the memory usage, whether it is right sized or it is oversized or undersized, and then whether it is really used or not. So idle VM also we are bringing in. So this is very much helpful for any organization who they are internally using the VMware vCenter, particularly for the administrator. Every end of the development, they will come up with, okay, you have these many VMs are running idle and we are out of resources. So many problems we may encounter. So this is a very helpful or handy solution. So they can find out how many VMs are really in a right sized condition, or if there is any ideal VM, we can save some cost. Let me show, this is the view, and here I have three labs. One is sitting in Fort Collins, another two labs are in Bangalore. So here what I can see here is, this is my overall admin view. So all the three labs I am able to get the recommendation. So what are the details as an admin I can see? Let me go to one record. So first I can see the resource name. So what is the VM name and where it is residing? So host name and cluster name, data store name, and also the data center name, and whether this VM is rightly used or not. So it is coming under the idle VM category. So it is check marked. So if there is any annotations or comments given by the resource creator, so that is also we are fetching in. And coming to the CPU, the current CPU is 4, but the recommended CPU as per the usage is 1. So this is the average utilization. So this is definitely it is a oversized. Coming to memory, the current memory size is 16, but the real recommended memory is 1. So memory utilization is around 9%. So this is also oversized. Okay, now I got the recommendation. Now what is my next step? Yes, I have analyzed. Let me move it to in progress. So now I can take an user action. So what are the user actions supported? If you think this is an ideal VM and if you want to delete it immediately, you can go ahead and delete the VM. Or maybe I just want to resize my CPU and not memory. That also I can do. I can resize CPU or I can do resize memory. Or if I think this is overused or oversized, so I can go ahead and resize both CPU and memory. Or if it is a working time, so I don't want to disturb the VM, so I want to schedule it, so I can go ahead and schedule all the operations whatever mentioned here, like delete or resize memory or CPU or both at the same time. So once you, if you click on schedule resize, you may need to enter the date and time when you want to trigger this operation. So currently what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize the CPU right away. So what is this expected savings? So this is for admin. They can customize. Okay, if you are using one CPU, okay, you are consuming $10. So this is, so I assumed, okay, if you are consuming one CPU, you are consuming $5, or if you are consuming 1 GB memory, you are consuming $5. So with that we have calculated. So this is up to the admin, they can set the amount. So as per this, I can save $90 for this resizing the resource. So now I'm going to select resize CPU. So let me click on save. So I cannot directly go ahead and resize it. I need to get an approval from my team lead or from my manager or the whoever the admin you have assigned. So it goes to the approval process. If you go here to the workflow, mm, let me try to show the resources also. So this is the name of the VM, ENTT I'm not approved as of now. So here you can see it is a 4 CPU and 16 GB memory. Let me give me a minute. I am hitting a problem with this present screen. Okay. Now, if I go to the approval page, for time being, what I have done, I have assigned to myself. So I can assign it to my manager, or this approval you can assign it to whoever has to approve. So I'm approving as of now. So this is a record which has to be resized. So once it is approved, next it will go ahead and start the execution. So let me move on to the orchestration. So let it run. It will initiate the process. Okay. Let me open the orchestration engine. Okay. So meantime, what I want to show the workflow processes. So currently it is in the new state. Then I have analyzed, I moved it to in progress. Then it moved to approve. Once the approval is done, then it will move to fulfill. And once it is accepted, you can move to the close state also. So this is a end-to-end approval process. Let me move on to the orchestration. So what it does in the automation step is, yeah, it is already started execution. So first it will fetch what is the provider credential from the resource provider. And once the provider details are done, then it will go ahead and resize the CPU. So here you can see what is it is already done. So it is a resource name, and the recommended user action that I have selected is resize CPU. And this is the recommended memory. So let me move on to this page, and let me go back and refresh and come back, so that I want to know whether it is done or not. Yeah, now whatever the recommended CPU has been my current CPU, so it is updated. Let me check in the portal also. It is a ENTTOPB. So now you can see the update has been done. Earlier the CPU was 4 and now it is moved to 1. So these are all the action as an admin or as an who is managing the VMware vCenter, they can do the operation. So this will help for the organization to maintain the resources. So let me move on to the same page. Here I'm seeing all the idle resources which are all idle in a particular lab. So I can filter it out where I can remove the resources or I can resize the resources. So here you can see some are oversized and some are right sized also. You can filter it out. So with this, I can conclude the VMware vCenter recommendation demo. Then I will move on to tag remediation for AWS. So here you can see there is a menu called tag management. So once you move on to the tag management, here we can tag the existing resources. So currently it is supported for EC2 services and RDS services. Similarly, you can tag the AWS user also. And next item is policy. So first I will start with the EC2 resource. Yeah, I have these many resources, and then most of the resources are not tagged. If I open any one particular resource, so this is my resource, and organization tag has not been added. So now as an admin, you can set what are all the tags to be added for any resources that you create in the AWS portal. Say for an example, you can add like organization or a business unit, and what is a product ID, and whether this resource belongs to the particular environment like a development environment or production or QA environment, and then who is a technical contact. So here you can see this is my resource type EC2, and this is the name of the resource, and where it is residing, it is in US West, and this is a resource ID. So currently organization tag is set to no because there is no organization tag. Let me show the resource in AWS portal. Here is my VM AOS VM, and tag is if you manage the tag, only the name is present. As of now, there is no other tag. So now what I can do, I will go back, and then I want to set a organization tag like product name as item. Maybe I can take this, and then business unit as HCMX, and the product ID. I want to give the product ID, and then I want to give the technical contact and environment. So let me make this one as in progress. I have not given a proper tag details, but you need to give a proper ID in order to tag the resources. Okay, so now I have requested for tag resources. Now it will initiate a flow here. Let me go back. Let me refresh. Yeah, the flow is already started. So coming to AWS, tagging a resource for every item is a different SDK call. So that's where if you want to tag EC2, that is a different call. And if you want to tag any other resources like user or policy or RDS or any type of services, it's a different call. So that's why it is targeted only for EC2 and RDS, which is heavily used in any organization. Let me try to refresh this. So in order to save time, yeah, it is already started. Maybe I want to move on to the next item, but it is already done. Yeah, it is already tagged. Yes, good. Let me go back, and then I will go to that resource. Let me try to see whether it is added. I will go back here. Let me try to refresh this instance. And if I select this instance, and when I move on to the tag, yeah, here you can see all the tags has been, whatever I have added, it is already there. So this is for tagging and resources. As of now, EC2 and RTS. Now let me focus on the next item, how to tag a user. So in HCMX, we have a person field. So in person, we have an all the employee details, also all the details of user is attached to a or combined as a group. So now I will take one example. So I'm part of this organization. So my email ID is uma@opentext.com. So this is the same user is present in AWS. So let me move on to the your AWS portal also. So if I move on to the IAM of AWS and users, so here is my uh, username. So as of now, there is no tags added to this user. So let me go to the record. So here I'm going to select only the person to which person I want to tag. So I want to tag for my email ID or my ID in the AWS portal. Let me go back, let it refresh. Yeah. So I have selected the person as my name, and then here is a custom tag I want to add, org as item and team as R&D. So let me tag this resource. Let me go back to orchestration engine. Yeah, it is started. So what it does, it will collect all the information from the resource provider, and then once it is done, then it talks to AWS and finds the user, and that user will be tagged. Yes, now tag user is already done. Let me go to the AWS portal. Let me go back so that I want to refresh. Yeah, now the tags has been added. Here you can see org and team. Well, so now we have tagged the resources, also we have tagged the user. Now the third item is you can tag the policy. So if I move on to, let me close these items. Yeah. So here you have a policy. Suppose you want to create a new custom policy, then what you have to do, you can create a custom policy and set all your the requirements in the JSON format. Once the policy is done, then you can go ahead and trigger the flow. Either you can do it as a scheduler or you can connect it with the resource sync. So once it is triggered, let me try to show that flow where it is residing. Yeah, let me go to flow launcher. There is a flow called policies sync. Yeah, here you can see AWS IAM policy sync. So once you trigger, all the policies is fetched from the AWS portal and it will create it in the studio. So here, if I go here, so I can see 76 policies are present as a custom policy. Even you can confirm in the AWS portal. So let me select, there are totally 1200. These are all both AWS policy and also customer managed policy. I'll select only the customer managed policy. So now here you can see 76 policies are present. All the 76 policies has been pulled here. So now I want to tag, maybe you can tag all the policies in one go. That is also possible. Now for time being, I'm going to select only one resource policy name. So this is my custom policy that I have created. So let me select this policy, AOB policy. So here also I will go ahead and select that policy. Yeah, here it is. So this is a policy, and from coming to the tag, I don't have any tag services. Okay, so there is no tag added to the policy. So what I will do, I will go here and then I will select this record. So what it contains the policy name and then policy ARN and then what is a policy ID. So every time once you create a policy, you can trigger the resourcing and you fetch all the policies, and whichever policy you want to tag it, that can be tagged, and it is straightforward. Give me a second, let it load. Okay, fine. Yeah, let me add the, for simply I'll call it as org name as item. Yeah, now I'm going to add only one policy for this one. So here you can see the ARN and also the policy ID. Let me make it to in progress, and then I'm saving, and then I want to tag this policy. So this also will take a couple of seconds. Let it start it. Let me go to the Run Explorer. Let me refresh. Yeah, it is already started. Yeah, we can do in one go also. You can select all the policy and then in one go you can tag all the resources in one go. So that is also possible. Let's wait for 3 to 4 seconds so that it runs and then it tags the policy. Yeah. So this is the first step. So it is talking to the resource provider and getting all the credentials. And then once the credentials is ready and it is going to the AWS portal and it is tagging. So let me go to the AWS and I will come back just to refresh. I'll search for the policy, whatever I have created. And if I go here, let me refresh this page. Only for policy, it takes a fraction of second so that I don't have a refresh button here. So that's why I'm refreshing. Yeah, so now you can see the tag has been added. I have added a key name as org and the value as item. So this is how in a single UI, you can tag either a resource or a user or policy in one go under the tag management. So this is for AWS tag management. So with this, I conclude my demo. Over to you, Alex.
Thanks a lot, Uma. Yeah, please feel free to put your questions in the chat and I can take it up. Let's move to the next demo, which is the Jenkins integration. Over to you, TB. I'm making you as a presenter.
Thank you. Sharing the screen right now. Please let me know when you see the
Yep.
background.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
see them.
Hi, everyone. Hopefully everyone is good. Today I'm going to demo the new Jenkins integration. Last time we did it with the ESS APIs, but now we're making use of the new ESM APIs, which has been around since version 2022.05, I think. And it's going to be a live demo. So I have here the pipeline. I'm just going to start to build it. And we're going to explore a little bit what's happening behind the scenes. So as you can see, the logs, we're going through the normal process of gathering an authentication token, then grabbing the offering details that we are going to use for deployment, and then we'll create a request to deploy that offering, and then we'll keep on searching, we'll keep on querying the request to see the status. So the status needs to reach closed in order for us to move to the next stage. This is going to take a while. It's usually a 7-8 minutes deployment. So I'm going to show you a peek behind the scenes on what the code looks like. So what you've seen so far is the initial part where it gets the token. Well, if it runs into issues, it will error out automatically, right? So it won't go to the next steps. If it doesn't, then it goes and creates the offering. We'll grab the offering details and then we'll create the offering. And then we'll start checking until the deployment of the offering is in closed status. Now here you can't see much details because you only see the functions calls that I created. So I'm gonna go to the function call and show you how that looks like. Let me scroll a little bit down. Right, so here you can see the calls to grab the authentication token, which is then going to be stored in a global variable, then get the offering details. So the offering details will give us a part of the payload that we need to use in order to actually create the deployment request. So let's say I'm going to show you how I did it. I have a postman here and I do a curl request to get the details of the offering. So here I can, okay, let's do this one. Right, so here if I, oh, it's going to fail because I don't have a token here. All right, and now I should be able to grab the details of that offering, sorry. Right, now that I have all the details, I can grab everything that's in the user options. That's all I need from this part. So this is one part of the payload that I need to put into to make the request. Other details would be, I'm going to show you here. The other details that I need to add to the payload would be the start date, the name of the deployment, the description, so I can check it into the deployment operations inside of my HCMX instance. Also, one thing that I forgot to mention is that these APIs are publicly available on our website, right? And you can check the documentation on how these APIs are being consumed and what is required. So let's say for, what was it, the authentication token, let's say the simplest example, you just need to call the proper endpoint and provide the proper body. So you need your username, your password, and of course the tenant name. If you can remember in the ESS APIs, it was a bit different, right? I think the tenant ID was actually part of the parameters of the URL, while the username and password were part of the bodies. All right, coming back to my deployment, as you can see, from at a 30-second step, it keeps on checking to see what's the status of my deployment. And I actually can go here in my instance management to see if I hit refresh. I see my deployment is in progress. And yeah, I'm deploying the application. So I'm gonna wait a little bit until it finishes. Basically, what I'm doing here with this deployment, I'm trying to provision a VM. So deploying the infrastructure. On that VM, I need to install the operating system, then install the prerequisites for my application. And the last step would be to deploy the actual application. So in the first stage here, we are in the stage 1, we're just deploying the infrastructure. So basically, we're creating a VM that has the Linux operating system installed on it. It has Tomcat, which is a prerequisite, and we have PostgreSQL, which is another prerequisite. As a result of this deployment, we will receive the IP address of the virtual machine. This is a dynamic data that could change with each deployment, right? It's not going to be the same IP address. So at a successful finish of this step, I should get the IP address of the new VM, and I will use that IP address for the next step in our deployment, which will be to deploy the actual application and then serve it to the public, right? So we'll have to see where we are with the deployment. I think it's still in progress. Oh no, actually the actual deployment of the infrastructure is done. If we go to the script, it will take a bit more to realize the status is closed now. I will give it a bit of time. Meanwhile, we can go to, oh, this is not really visible. So the next step, as I have my IP address, I'm using a different offering, which is specifically built just to deploy my application. But as an input parameter for that offering, I need the IP address of the machine, so I know which machine I'm targeting to deploy my application. And okay, let's see. Here is still in fulfill mode. Okay, so now it realized the status is closed, meaning the first stage of the operation is done, and it's giving me a few details that are quite important for me, like the host name and the IP address. In the initial phase, the IP address is most important because that's how I'm targeting the machine. But at the end of the second stage, the host name will be important for me because I need to know what URL I need to access in order to get to my application. And here the steps are kind of repeating themselves in a manner because I don't need to have another authentication token. I can use the same one that was retrieved in the initial phase. I just need to have my IP, call the offering that it's deploying my application, and then go through the same steps of requesting details for that offering, then making a request to create the deployment to actually deploy the request. And also these details are being provided by the scripts in the background. So you can see here AOS deployment, AOS request ID, and here it's called differently. It's called ACMX request ID, right? So if you have any issues during the deployment, you can just grab those ID, go into the ACMX and see what happened, at what stage this failed and why it failed. So you can take it further and troubleshoot. So in a couple of seconds, this will finish deploying, and I can also see this in my instance management. I refresh here. As you can see, my iOS application is in progress. It will take a few more seconds to get into the finish state, and then we can see the script giving us the okay that the application has been deployed successfully. Actually, at the end of the deployment, we are making a small test to see if the application was actually deployed by making a simple curl get request on the FQDN, so the host name and the full qualifying domain name and the port of the app. And if that get request gives us a 200 back, it means that the application was successfully deployed, and then we get the URL to access it directly, right? So my instance management says the application was deployed. So as you can see here, it tells me that is the infra deployment or is the application deployment. And then going back to the Jenkins job, in a few seconds, we will see the end of the deployment and we can actually access the URL. Okay, should be done in just a few seconds. And yep, here it is. And here I have the URL. If I click on it or right click on it or middle click on it, it brings me to my application. And as you can see, with a simple pipeline and the use of ESM APIs, I was able to deploy my infrastructure and my application, and now it's publicly available. Okay, this is it from my side. Thank you.
Yep, thanks a lot, Tibi. Great, a real live demo. Everyone is performing here. Thank you. Now we will switch to the last use case, which is the maximize the optimize. I'll give the ball to Shiva, who is going to help us with the use case demo.
Thank you, Alex. Let me start sharing my screen. Like, is my screen visible now?
Yes, it is visible. Please go ahead, Joe.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Hello, everyone. So today I'm going to explain about the use cases where we can save the cost by looking into two different aspects. So to start with, let us see first how we can track down the chart and see what is the highest cost we are getting initially. So for that, let me go into the cost governance in HMX. So for AWS, so I'm taking the usage account first, spend by usage account here. So here, what we are going to do is like we are trying to see the pattern of the accounts where certain highest cost is achieved, and then we are going to track down that particular type of instances based on which we are going to see how we can make some savings in the billing cost. Okay, so this is the main par account, so which I'm removing so that we can drill down to the other things and see. Let me remove this. So you can see a pattern here for the last 6 months. This is the report generated, and you can see consistently for last 3 months, one of the account that is in dark green is having a $4,000+ as the billing amount. So this account number ends with 991. Let us note it down. So let us see how for this account we can go and see how a savings plan or some other way of saving that cost can be done. So let me drill down further by checking this account in the spend by instance type for 991 account. So for that, I need to go to EC2 compute and spend by instance type here. So here, let me filter based on the account ID. So I'll search for the account that ends with 991, for example. So which we are taking here. Let me select this account. Let us see the chart. So you can see like the dark blue R5 X large is the one that consistently having higher billing cost, more than $2,000 per month. And you can see next to R5 X large is T32 X large. These also is having considerable amount. So let us see from the insights perspective how we can try to optimize this. So for that, I need to go into the insights page. So over here. So the insights we are going to see for R5. Right, so what is the recommendations available? So let me select the recommendations here and go to the AWS main account. And obviously the account that we selected belongs to the linked account. So I'm selecting the linked accounts and it's an EC2 account. And let me take the term as 3 years, no upfront, and look back period is 60 days, for example. And okay, let me try to filter out the account ID. So here again, we need to fill in that account ID number that ends with 991. I'm filtering based on the contents word. So for 991 account, these are the recommendations that's already in picture. And here you can already notice like for R5, there is a recommendation for the savings plan. So let me click through this and see the details of it. So here, before I get to the details here, you can see like what is the current monthly spend? It is $1,858, for example, and for total years before the recommended purchase, this will be the total cost that we going to acquire for a 3 years period. And you can see the commitment level, which is set. So currently the commitment level is set at 100, but generally, as per the recommendation, we might set it to 60 to 80. Okay. So and also you can see like for this period here for on-demand based instances during February 25th alone, the cost of on-demand for this type of instance is $76, which is very high. But for the same day savings plan based account was charged only $3. So it's obvious we need to probably take some action to make sure we go for some recommendation optimization here. So assume I'm going to set it to 60 level here. For example, my commitment level. You can see like the estimated savings amount is 28%. Let me slightly align this here. Okay. So you can see like if I'm committing at 60%, then my estimated savings for a 3-year period is 28%, which comes to $1,000, and whereas here it is for a 3-year period, it's earlier before recommendation it is $66,000, and you can see the hourly commitment is 0.8. So in case if I'm moving my commitment level to we suggested 80%, for example, you can also see the estimated savings, which is also increasing, and the even the hourly commitment is 1.048, but total estimated savings for the 3 years period is 37% is what I'm going to say. So this is one way where I can go ahead with the purchase plan, and cost savings can be done here. So this is one way of doing it. And let us see if there is any other method of making a savings. So one is the purchase plan, and let me go to the other option. So right sizing. The next option is right sizing. So one is from for R5, we are trying to do a savings plan purchase and then saving cost. That is one way. The other way is, what if the instance that I'm using is underutilized or overutilized? If I do the right sizing, maybe I'll be saving the right. I might be efficiently using the instance, right? So let us see if there is some way to do that here. Okay, so here let me again select the same account which I was seeing for the higher cost. So 99991. Okay, so there's the one, and also the instance size is R5. Okay, so you're already seeing here there are two underutilized instances that is shown for the same account. So let me select one of the account. So the current account in having the account instance which is used in the account is being R5X large, which is costing $258 per month. But as per the recommendation, seems like this is underutilized, and the suggestion is to switch it from R5X large to R5X large. Obviously, this is close to 50%, but it's like 33% of savings we'll have from $258 monthly. We'll be saving 33%, and immediately carbon footprint also will be reducing. That is one more good thing. So either we can go out, and if right sizing is the best option, then we can go on do the right sizing, and later after right sizing for the recommendation of savings plan, we can apply the savings plan for R5X large instead of R5X large. We can do it for R5 large itself, the recommendation savings plan. So eventually we can apply both by doing that. So currently, if I'm going to do the recommendation part here, if I'm going to take action for the purchase plan, and then I'm going to apply that, then I need to act on the recommendations, right? So for recommendation, already I need to do some workflow automation. So already we have a feature here that has been implemented. I want to mention that it is a feature that is in development right now. It is not a released feature, but it is in the process of development. So here we'll be having option to add the recommendation actions. So which means once you want to apply that changing of the instance type and everything, we can act on that by having the entries here, which we can just go and approve it, and then it'll go and do the recommendation action for us. Say, for example, switching the instance sizes from R5X large to R5 large, we can handle it from our portal itself, from this recommendation portal. So there is upcoming feature. Currently, it is still under development. That is one way of doing it. So this concludes how we can save cost by either doing going by the savings plan option or by right sizing the instances. So okay, that's what I want to explain for the demo today.
Thanks, Shiva. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, it was very useful to see the overlay between the SureBack report and the insights, and again between savings plan and the right sizing recommendation. So I think that concludes our today's demo agenda. Let me see if there are any questions, and let me also see if there are any comments in the chat. If there is no question, but yeah, if anyone have any questions, please put that in the chat, or if you want to call out, I can unmute your line, or you can raise your hands, I can unmute your line. Okay, while Yeah, there is a question from Patrick. What is the tag? When is the tag management available? Well, the tag management that we showcased is all about remediation, where in the past we showcased how you can identify a non-compliance resource which is not meeting the tagging standards or not even having tags, right, using the policy engine, CMS policy engine. But this is to remediate, and this is already published in the marketplace portal under FinOps solutions. You should be able to use it for our POCs or pilot, or if the customer is interested to use it for their hands-on, definitely it is available for them, where they can download from the marketplace portal. Any other questions? Okay, so in a nutshell, we showcase the vCenter based recommendations. We always focused on more on the public cloud, but we are constantly getting requests to show the integration with respect to the vCenter. I mean, mainly on the private cloud. So we picked up vCenter, and there is a data collection that happens. The utilization data collection happens, and we use the cloud optimizer for now only for the demo purposes, not for to be deployed in the production, and then we generate the recommendation. But obviously, if there is any other tool that exists that generates the recommendation, we can easily populate that or aggregate in our tool and take it through the process automation, and then we can even get it executed. That's the strength of our tool. And then we also saw the Jenkins CSM integration, where we were showcasing the deployment of the platform software, which is Tomcat and Postgres. And then we also showcased the AOS application deployment in real using our HMX CSM API. And then we also saw the use case that actually helps you to do the it helps you to get maximum optimization benefits by looking into the showback reports and the recommendations that have come into the product tool. So yeah, that's pretty much. And yeah, feel free to reach out to us if you want to get access to any of this demo environment, and if you want to showcase or if you want to even try it out, we'll be happy to help you with that. And if there are any queries, you can always post the queries to us, and we can help you with that. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining this call, and thanks a lot, team, for doing a live demo. And have a great rest of the day. And thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.